I have wanted to get on and talk about where all these planets are lining up in our keyboard right now and talk about too the process that every single one of us are going through, no matter if you were connected in to some of these energies before what we know is now, and share a little bit about what I've been seeing and witnessing and going through myself in connecting back into a new creation energy is the best way that I think I can put it. I'm asking for this message to get to whoever needs to see it in this now when you're watching it, because what we're clearly seeing in astronomy, because astronomy and how these planets move and organize in energetics and create currents in a larger bubble, which the Sophia body has been the big one on. If we know what's out there right now, and if we talk about what astronomy we know, and what has been taught a little bit within the spiritual collective, this a lot of what's going on right now, including Nashville. Hey guys, hello, thank y'all for being here. Come on in, get some coffee. I don't know how long this is going to be. I want to talk about a couple of things, but no matter when you see this video, know that this is where you're at right now. That this energy is it's a process, and it happens in layers. And those of us who rode this first wave of ascension to merge all different pieces, and this is where we're all different and we're all special, but we work together in consciousness because we're connected to Sirius. Because Sirius isn't just XM. In fact, we did not have Sirius XM in this realm until the collective cord close enough to Sirius in order to channel that large enough of a channel from satellite. And it's connected into the human consciousness, and it's connected into every single one of us. That energy charge is running through every single one of us. This is how the CIA this is how these earbuds work. Now, when we're getting into Cancer, and if y'all, and so this is where I've been going back and forth, because we've been writing this, we've been pulling this in, and I'm really understanding now how it happened and how it's still happening and what's happening right now. Because those of us that started now 2016, 2017, 2017 is when this eclipse lined up. And we had the first great American eclipse. Now, I want y'all to really remember with me right now, because there was supposed to be another one. There was supposed to be another one that was supposed to happen in 2022. Now, come on, tell me you remember. This is where you got to remember. And it might not be from Egypt that you need to remember. It might be from 2 years ago. because we're talking about energy and we're talking about data that is streaming above you to the extent that it was being cored with satellites, wrangling stars, putting nets, putting ports in an organic system. That's like turning your body into half metal, which is what they did down here. It's what industrialization was. My God, we walked that. I can tell you all about that. I can tell you all about the screws and the bolts and the nails that were being thrown in my backyard when I was clearing this in Las Vegas when the Divine Feminine rebirth. Because if you go putting metal and satellites and all that in a cosmic body, then you create some type of transference. Another static energy. That static energy is hooked into what? More metal. Metal's hooked into what? Mercury. Mercury's hooked into what? Your mind. Your mind. We everybody in the world got MK Ultra. I keep going back, and I just put my umbrella up in my room again, upside down. And I do that type stuff because I'm walking with y'all clear and conscious through this with eyes open in these layers. And it's taken me because August, July. It's taken me to July. I keep going back to July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. See, everything that happened in July, we're at 8 months right now. Everything that happened last July, we're at 8 months right now. So we're almost in April. We're gonna align to August. Well, there's your AA. April and August. So in April, we're going to align to everything that went down when I keep screaming we went raw and all of that. And I can definitely explain that to you in more detail now that I've been able to heal with everybody and come through. But what happened, if y'all remember, I mean, and I was in a panic, and I know now even, and I want to talk about the energy that was coming over us and giving us this knowing and this sight into other dimensions in a unit is how it was happening. Because see, when you start dealing with Syrian beings and you start dealing with a time like we're in right now, where all of this was merging, I don't care what bubble you came from, and this is what most don't understand, it was merging in because all of these star systems, bing, 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 right, are creating these currents which create these different dimensions. They do. Now, us, the human that is interacting in your bubble, inside a bubble, because right now we're talking about the zodiac. Because you're in the zodiac, but you're not just one house. You're not just your star set. You're not just your sun sign. You're not just Arcturian. You're not just Lyran. And this is what they want. This is what the mind in these layers was segregating and gridding out consciousness. Because the whole thing is that you get this one, you get this one, you get this one. You're the intercom, you're the vessel, you're the microphone. All the energies that are coming in for you, your job is to be the mediator. Because you're here on this plane, you're the physical body, you're making the moves, and you have to have intention, and this is where alchemy comes in. My intention And all that goes behind the alchemy process is about getting through these layers, or down or up, depending on what grid you're moving in and out of, to produce and create something. But you're in a larger bubble that those planets are following a sequence, and you can watch them open up right now. You know, we had Pluto and we had Mars at 0 point. Well, Pluto right now is in the middle of the veil, 0 degrees, because this is mastery of the wheel. Not only is it mastery of the wheel, what I'm here to explain is that the wheel is caving, basically it's caving in on itself right now, because what's happening is this mirror dimension that was being held away, looking glass formed. We already know it's out there, the mirror dimension that was happening in space, but really too, what was happening down here is that the Earth was gridded and held still for so long. It wasn't moving in a cosmic body process. It was halted. It was staying still, and this is why people who will swear the flat earth, well, that's why they think that. Their perception from where I just hit myself in the face. Their perception, wherever their consciousness is and whatever dimension their eyes open, that's how they see it. Well, okay, it's changing. Whereas those of us who know that we definitely at some point had walked out of a simulation type, because we all went into one, but your energy held to where the illusion can't hold, because there were these projectors, which are stars, beaming down this energy to a bubble, to a bubble, to a bubble. And this is where that Sophia body comes in. Because at least whenever you're understanding the Sophia body, you're understanding that all the planets are inside you. And I got off on a boom, boom, boom. How's everybody doing? Give me thumbs up on here. Now, for me, what's been going on is confidence. I mean, I wrote it up here, confidence. And this is what's, whenever if you know me, and you've been watching, or you've traveled with me, or other, and confidence is definitely something that I would not have perceived to have an issue with. Now, what I mean by confidence to me is a human getting ready to really gear up on knowing what comes next with my mission, knowing now that I have a new start, because these planets are lining up and to give us a new start. Now, if you're just now experiencing a lot of tower moments, men leaving, getting kicked out of your house, blah, 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 know that you're on the right path. If you have been calling in for your highest timeline, if you have been healing, if you have, been doing your work, know that every single one of us who has been on this journey, and since 2017, whether you started it before or not, has lost everything, or had to go through a process of purging. And every single one of us, if you would have told us in 2017, because I remember, because it's going back to that eclipse, and I know I got off on track, but I never do. That eclipse in August 2017 should have had a subsequent eclipse that was supposed to happen in 2022, and it would have gone from west to east. And it was going to crisscross in Jefferson City, Missouri. You know how I know this? Because my car engine blew getting there in 2017 when this energy activated us way out there. So there's a group of us who had energetic seeds. This is where I say I know I'm a doomsday seed. And some of y'all might know I know I'm a processional being because I have in my DNA available in my intercom system an infrastructure to be able to read energy that happened way out there because somehow I had seeds still down here on earth. Each one of you, same thing. Each one of you, same thing. Just which connections do you have? Getting knocked down and getting back up. Yes, Rachel, and that's what I'm on here talking about. Now, real quick, I want to finish up that point because we moved it. Us, the collective that have been doing this healing, because I mean it's been a journey. It didn't just start out that we had protection. It didn't just start out that Venus was clear. It didn't just start out that we woke up Jupiter. It didn't just start out like that. All of us that, especially, Libras, raise your hand. And that's what right now we've got all this Aries energy that's like boom, boom, boom. And this is why Libras are getting pulled to hold. And this is why I'm on here talking about confidence. Because each time that we did it before, no matter, we got knocked down. We got knocked down. Because what was happening is that us, the collective, in our even in our characters, all connected, all working in a unit, and I can even explain, and I want to get into that. Overpowering a mirror, mercurial, you can call it the sixth dimension. It was connected to the 15th dimension. This is where we had binary bots. This is where vaccine. This is the sixth dimension was the problem. It was connected to the 15th dimension. Now, how do I know this? Because the Giza plateau and the alignments, and because I can clearly see with the knowledge that comes through me from all of y'all having eyes in Sirius A. I can clearly see how, because here's your ley lines. Now, this sucker's moving. This is what everybody forgets. This sucker's moving. That's why, and right now it's going upside down this way. It is because the orb is going in space. We're on a star. This is the difference between Arcturian teachings and Lemurian teachings and Elon Musk. Alpha Draconic Andromeda. Okay, two different, because one's seeing the feminine space, one's understanding the physics, one's understanding that we're all in it together, that we're in a bigger orb, that we're moving together through and clearing through areas of space because the human collective in the bubble is reaching a vibratory sequence that is hitting the planets, and the planets are roping it and pulling it through a system that is moving the entire consciousness with the bodies, with everybody up into a higher consciousness of reality. And the planets and these moon lineups that are happening with Andromeda new moon coming right after, because we're right now on Tuesday, Mars Day, the moon is half and half. The moon is half and half. So meaning the sun, the moon is 50% right this very second. And you'll find that a lot of stuff pops off in the collective around this time. Because it's polarized. You have to remember that the sun is beaming you full on out. Okay? That is you. You're the sun. The moon is giving you, it's basically like a reflector, one of those rearview mirror reflectors when you're going through the underground garages, those mirror reflectors, that's the moon. So the moon is reflecting all that energy down, and we're all children of the moon. The moon's what creates the waves. The moon's what creates the current. The moon is what creates the lineup to you, the sun, right? Then the next out is the mind. That's Mercury. Now Mercury's charged mercurial, and this is what they put in the vaccines because they wanted all the beings down here frequency to stay like this. Lower. This is how they've been doing it. This is how they've been doing it. Now realize, okay, what's been happening since 2017 when all of us conscious beings in the collective that were working together, that probably were only on our knees at some point asking God or Spirit to utilize us to help. If we all go back and think, like, how did this start for you? And you know, or you could have come in at the very best. So many of y'all that I've met in the past, well, there's two people, significant people that came in, and the only two that's come in the past 6 months, both as a child, like out of the womb, were telling everybody what they did wrong and what was wrong. You're not supposed to be here. What's going, you know, like, to the point their mothers were like, oh my God, what am I going to do with you? Well, because you were, and that makes sense to why you just came in the past 2 months, because you had the full story. See, so it doesn't matter when you think it started, but the lineup in 2017 is when the collective, because the collective, and I know because I helped do it. And this is 2018 when we were all using YouTube as a current. And I'm hearing a Luna Ash right now too, because remember how powerful we were then, because we were all connected in a different way. We were. And a lot of us are, and then that's what we're looking for again, but we're gun shy, and we're finally seeing what happened in these higher dimensions that split us up, and it was technology. In some sense or form, it was technology and the energy current of that technology, with all of us in the infrastructures. And that's like even a Luna, because really, you know, I don't blame her, man. I'm not a hater. If you there's a lot connected into some background with me and a Luna, because that's just we were both under See, what happened, this is a great example. When this started happening in 2017, what was also happening at the same time, because this is why they were calling this Mars. What was happening at the same time is that Venus was mirroring every freaking move. Every single move. So if the collective's right here, okay, here's where the collective was held down. Now in 2017, when we rebirthed this bubble, because we did, the more that we were getting pulled down here with the rest of the collective, because this is when they turned on CERN. They turned on CERN in July, right before that Lionsgate, and I lost connection to all y'all. To all y'all. And I was so upset. I was so upset, and everybody's just now getting why and what happened. And we still haven't seen the full extent of it. Because it's when you lose your connection. Well, and that's my point. See, Aluna, the only thing that happened, she didn't know. She didn't know. And we had no idea that like Zoom, us all getting on Zoom and doing healing clearings was what was gonna keep the schools alive when the energetic shut down. We had no idea that they were gonna do all that stuff with that our consciousness and our etheric bodies were so connected that whenever you took a big group that was holding this in a YouTube current, in an overall current up high to a Discord, see what happened is it went into Discord. Because then that energetic wasn't being shared. Now she wouldn't have known. Aluna and I's channels were also, there is this whole thing that she don't know about too that I haven't talked about ever that happened in the back end with billing and stuff that was showing up on my end with my subscribers and all, because there was some trickery that was going on when all that was going on, but we had no idea. I know she had no idea that that's what was going to happen whenever she did that. But it is, right? Because the problem with that was that it had to be finished no matter. And then those of us who when that door shut and we lost all those connections, because a lot of her traffic was then supposed to be dispersed to some of us because of the beings that were in her group needed to keep opening up, because there were some of us that were still so far down here that had to figure out how to get out without the collective current. And it evidently had to be that way. But that is what happened. Okay. And this, when we were doing the same exact, and this is why, we would do, if you're traveling with me or y'all have had experience, some of you have had experiences like I have had when I came on here in all panic and stuff was going down around me. It couldn't have not happened. You had your experience. If you had an experience ever where you just know everything seemed to pick up, it's like you were in a glass bowl and everything was interacting off of you. Not to mention that you were making moves inside because you knew in some way you were trying to be controlled, attacked, something. But the whole scene, because that's where it comes into a scenes. Because if you're in a scene, you set the scene, baby. So if the whole entire scene, and then you had all these characters that came in and just, it was blah, or great, good or great, because it's happened to me both ways. But no matter, it feels like the whole thing's picking up, and that's because, and whatever was created down here in this lower Mars dimension, and then what was created up here in the collective higher, what was happening is they's overlapping. Vector Pisces, they's overlapping, right? So you're gonna feel like, but that's what's happening, is that energetically you're maneuvering through whatever, boom, 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 because that Mars energy is gonna feel set, and that's the other. It's because it's set. I was being controlled and attacked on it being right because that. Thank you. Because we had to learn. We were listening to our intuition. What's our intuition coming from? These higher consciousnesses that see, and this is why the opposition can't get it, that we don't know dark magic and this and that. Because if we don't know it in their mind, see, in their lizard mind, only thinking that this down here was what was being controlled, or even being so narcissistic to think that those of us who were dealing with them down here only were dealing with them. That's the other thing that blows my mind. These beings down here that were messing with us, because we were overriding their projection, no matter what it is. I don't care what timeline it came from. I don't care if it's new, old, whatever the hell. This is a processional lineup and a new birth. And so these ones down here all thought that they were the only ones coming for us too, when the truth was we was creating this up here. So not only for those of us who have been creating this up here, not only were we dealing with this Mars bullshit and all this that's driving the consciousness down, and CERN and these low gates. Now we're dealing with this faction. We're dealing with this faction, which, this one's going to take you all the way, because it's going to go to nothing. It's going to go to artificial intelligence. It's going to go to no human form. It's going to go to completely static energy in air that you're having to pick up. Well, PhD Fife, that put me in the chamber, was known as the father of communications in the Air Force, of the Central Intelligence Agency. Because it's the infrastructure that I'm telling you about right now that they've been utilizing within the human consciousness to do what they've been doing. And I'm talking about even the bombs. I'm talking about any aerial site. I'm talking about because that data is running through us. Even the way that they use targets and drone machines and this and that. I mean, my team's been getting picked up sometimes and knowing where they're going to blow and do raids. We see it. That's because they're using our infrastructure to be able to utilize it, which is technology. Beings like me, and what I was talking about with the Shah and all that, back in those timelines, and talking talking 0 point. Because when you're walking these grids, because you can't get from A to Z without going through the whole thing. You can go the back door, but if you go the back door to Zeta, then you still, at some point, got to work it all the way through the phonetic and all the way back through the motor system and the ignition, in order to get it back to A, alpha. And then you got to break it down to 3, because it ain't 1 in the true digital form. Now it's 3. See? Now you're dealing with ciphers, and you're dealing with math as a universal language. You're dealing with physics. You're dealing with Japan. Every single writing. Because this is Babylon. You're dealing with every single phonetic. You're dealing with every single language, right? But what's going to override all of that, the phonetic structure of the energy of the knowledge. And this is, and that goes back to a root of an energetic charge. And right now, the world's in this dark blue and yellow. This is Aries. I know if you're in Andromeda, you're in this color, and you're looking for this. So Andromeda, the which, where are we at right now? See, because right now we've got the sun's at 743 Aries, okay, and then Mars. Wait. Jupiter, Mercury just jumped Jupiter at 18. Mercury's at 19 degrees, okay, of Aries. So at 25, it's going to be in Andromeda. And again, April 20th, the next new moon, that's where this big new moon is lining up for this expansion that's happening in every single one of these orbs, because this now has a big bubble around it. This one's completely starting to drop, because these consciousness grids up here are what's holding and pulling the timelines, the energetics, whatever, or depending on what we still have to learn and lessons we learn and what's going on and where we need to be in order to fulfill our missions, which is Saturn. And Saturn's in Fomalhaut right now. Well, that's number 31. That's purple and peach. That's purple and peach. That's number 31. That's Fomalhaut. That's the I. It's the highest frequency up in Pisces in the Milky Way of the archangels. That's where Saturn is, almost dead on top of. Saturn was at 223 last time I checked. At 3 degrees, it's going to be dead on, which hits Virgo at 3 degrees, dead on, which is energy ray from out there to Virgo Earth energy, the energy grid. Okay, that's almost there, lined up directly, but that's where Saturn is right now. Well, Fomalhaut energy, that's number 31. That's Pisces, 3 degrees. So if you have Pisces 1 degree to 5 degrees, then this is Archangel Gabriel. This is light and dark in its fullest extreme. This is Romeo and Juliet. The major program for Fomalhaut is thinking something outside of you is going to complete you, and it romanticizing what you didn't get. Now here's why. We've proven that Pisces at 3 degrees is the first cut that they made in the wheel. So there really is a separation right there. So whenever you're looking from one side coming out of Aquarius, which right on the other side of that, Cygnus, the angelic realm. So if you will, okay, if a grid, if and Cygnus is right here and I'm in the angelic realm, well, Fomalhaut's up here. Okay, so Fomalhaut would be mirroring, even if you will, as far as an analogy, into a matrixy type of reality projection from Cygnus, but it's a higher up perception, as far up as you can get in a 4 boom 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 sequence, because it's the archangels of the collective, because that's how it's set up on a cardinal direction. We're talking cardinal directions now. See, I think the problem was the fixed signs were real. Everything lost its cardinal down here. Everything went fixed. But Andromeda would be all black. You're in an energy like this. You're looking for this. Off in the distance, you see a star. Off in the distance. So you see things in this energy, in this dimension. Whereas alpha number 1 and Andromeda is number 2. Number 1 is Alpha Draconic Notice 44, which is 12 to 16 degrees Aries, which is where Jupiter and Mercury and this whole party is in Chiron right now, because as a collective, this is the first time that we're making this connection all the way through. And this time we're even having to override data processing by organic charges in order to connect back in the organic to the collective charges in order, and everybody's rebirthing is what's happening. Alpha Draconic Notice 44 is getting all that information from Libra. And it goes straight over into Aries, and that energy's all yellow, looking for blue. So in my AC and my Chiron and everything is right there on this AD 44, because this would be the higher body template that goes up here too. Because we already know, those of us that are healers, we know that you don't have to do surgery on everybody like you're doing right now. Please stop. Please stop. We know that. You know how we know that? We've been merging these. And so we literally have been healing people in vectors of these energetics, maneuvering and alchemization. It's why we're here. We were here to reset back and remember as a human what we're capable of doing. We're the golden mind, mind astrology and the golden human. Well, this is it. But you're looking for this. So whenever I see things in the different dimensions, and I see different things. They're usually very rarely like a little film strip. If they are, then I know I'm dealing with Gemini. But otherwise, it's like big shadowy type things. Well, that's because I'm in this energy and I'm looking for this. Okay. Now, these are the colors that the collective is all, and this is also ibuprofen, FYI, because this is why they want you to take ibuprofen. This is what the energies that the collective is in. Now, this is not bad energy, but it's infrastructure, it's shadow, it's going to be the nails, it's going to be the boards, it's going to be the tech, it's going to be whatever that infrastructure is. It's going to be the masculine part of everything. That's why everything feels so masculine right now. But the interesting thing is Mars is now going into Sirius A, which is the heart. That's the heart of the collective. It's in the plasma right now. So Mars goes into a fall. It goes into because it's being domesticated. I just heard Mars is being domesticated because this is a Mars and Venus merger. And this is all of us that are in the twin stuff. This is what it was about. Okay? Sirius A, where Mars is all right, is pink and white. Baby pink and white. And white. Not yellow, white. And in all the energies, there's only 3 that hit white. Okay? Scorpio 1 hits white and Vega. And Vega is Capricorn, opposite Sirius B. It has white, but it's maroon and white. This is pink and white. The highest form is pure form of energy, and the highest breakdown, even if it's in siphons and codes, this is where a lot of us, because Mars is back in Cancer again, and it's starting to build, we're going to start seeing a lot more synchronicities. You're going to start seeing a lot more number codes again. Those of you that were laying number codes in the last cycle, you're going to start seeing some of the other ones, old ones, come back in to show you that is connecting now, because Mars is inside the collective body now. And that's what those synchronicities do. because you don't realize whenever you look at the clock and you go 222, what you're doing is somebody else in our little army has set up something that the collective wants to back, and we want to back it, and the number is 222. So what happens is all these boom connections go out into these different circuits connected to consciousness, connected to all of us. And if you're at that frequency of that framework, then you're going to see 222. And as soon as you do, yep, you line up to it. Now, you might not know that because in the etherics, in your dream space in 4D, right? I know I need new markers really, really bad. And you're because we're in dream space and utilizing our colors and whatever intention we're setting up on these new moons of what we want and what we know is going to help the collective and help everybody else and help us and help our family, and we just want to see everybody be abundant, right? Whenever that's how these players then switch and come into your energy, because you're sending out the frequency that you're a good player and you're already met up here. That's how then you know when to make the move on land, and when you meet somebody, then you still have to go through your discernment. Now, see, this is where we're stuck right now a little bit. All of us that are in a little shock mode, because we had to do this, do this, do this, do this, be open, be open, be open, be open, and then get boom, 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 boom. Why? Depends on how many layers of consciousness you cleared. You see that, look, boom, 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 boom. So if you're coming, like I came here in order to set up this. I mean, if they would have left me alone, I would have been doing this in 2012. My company got stolen in 2013. That was stopping me from doing this then. See, here I am again, shouldn't have messed with me, right? I know every single one of you got the same story. But my point is, those of us who wrote a new timeline that wasn't in the set from all of the collective healings that happened over the past 4 years, you had to walk it in every dimension for it to connect, depending on who you are and how many lifetimes your family or you were cut off from whatever said event that was destined to happen, is how many times you had to be stopped because you had to walk it through each process till it finally links in. And this is where Mars is feeling it. Oh crap, I'm doing this to myself. Oh crap, I'm doing this to myself. I know Mars is feeling it. It's in this pink and white energy. Okay? My point in just showing y'all these energies is that you can utilize color and things in your house and blankets and quilts and clothes, even you can utilize color in your bubble in order to connect with whatever current of information you feel like you need to connect with, or to balance it out. So right now, if you're wanting to understand and you feel like your soul needs to understand more of these grids, understand more of the 3D, understand more of the infrastructure technology pieces that I'm talking about, then I would put these colors around you. And I would concentrate on these colors. Wear some navy for a little bit. Wear some, put some yellow up, put some navy up. Know that this is going to show you shadows, if you will, to allow you to shine the light on an infrastructure. Now, if you're way to that right now, and you're trying to master it in a different way, where it's like, with me, and this is what I feel like too is happening. Our intuition and guidance is changing. And it's only because of the pressure cooker, the pressure is changed. Meaning, before, when I was on my journey and so much of this energy was still controlling my body, because it was. I mean, and this is Natalie, Inspired Alignment. If go check out Inspired Alignment, Natalie is on. She's doing readings talking about these energies. We're going to start working more together. This is Natalie that came and helped and did with me a lot of these final Shaw 0 point body connections and clearings that we're just now seeing happen, because it's been 8 months, 9 months since we did them all. So we're clearly understanding. But Inspired Alignment is her channel. Please go check it out. I'll keep talking about it as we keep doing more. She's also an incredible tarot reader. So she's reading, like the last video she did, she was just 4 days ahead. She was 4 days ahead, meaning she was seeing this energetic lineup of these energies and talking about even the twins coming into play, because Mars is moving into Cancer. There's Pollux and Castor right there, right? So of course that's going to start projecting again, which is what this Algorab full moon in 8 days is going to do for us, is line us completely up. And then basically you're going to project again. What if it's a new one, the same one? I don't know. It just depends on how much you've changed, whatever. But it's gonna reproject again, that projection into these large mass consciousnesses, and then it'll start building back on us again. Right now, the thing is, for me, knowing when to move and not to move, because it's more of in the journey, and when you're in those vectors and you've got so much energy that you're undoing someone else's intention, that intention has a force. That intention is what's drawing out of you the gusto and the power and the intelligence and the energy and the willpower and everything to make it through it. When you're not in a vector that someone's got a lot of intention on you anymore, and it's just you doing your thing, it feels different. It feels different. And for the first time, we are getting so, because we made it all the way out and back down again. So in everything that we do, we're running it through these different processors. And then on top of that, because we got door slammed in our face, door slammed on our zapped, whatever the heck, right? That's to me, that's where I'm at right now, because it's like, okay, do I make a move? Do I not make a move? I'm feeling this intention happen over here. I'm feeling it pull me there. Okay. Because we know, I mean, if y'all are watching tarot readers and all this stuff, and I just don't talk about it anymore because I'm done giving it energy, all the black magic, all the love spells, all this and this and that. I mean, I know y'all, if you had somebody doing this stuff on you like me, then you know that, I mean, or they send us spells trying to get us to gain weight. I don't know if you've got like pulled out of your bed to go eat cookies in the middle of the night, but I have in the past month. But that was what was happening, because somebody took the intention, I want this bubble to do this, this, and this, and I'm going to do this to give this energy, this intention, and then that message goes out, and then we don't even realize that we're just fumbling in it, and allowing it to control us. See, but that first night when I did it again, and then I started going, wait a minute, what the heck? Because see, I used to get up in 2018 and 19 in the middle of the night and have to eat sugar because of the work that I was doing way up here. FYI. See, this is a really good example because in the past there were times when I was up so high and processing so much collective energy with y'all that I would have to get up in the middle of the night and eat cookies, whatever, because my processor's burning so fast that basically I needed to give it fuel. The first time that spell pulled me out to go eat, that is what I thought it was. Okay, because why? Because it had happened down here before. It kind of made sense. It kind of made, but then the second time that it tried to hit me, I caught it. The thought, it woke me up in my sleep. I caught it. I was like, wait a minute. No, that ain't what I'm up here doing. And I'm not double burning right now. See, because you'll get in different I'm not moving around. I'm not breaking grids. I'm not going to all these things. So my energy, and I'm not around a whole bunch of people right now and a whole bunch of energetics that charge my energy field. So when I'm in that energy, I lose 20 pounds like that. Because energetically it's going on my energy body. When my energy body is just sitting around being healing, calm, trying to get better healthy foods, get better healthy habits, which is also going on again right now, getting back into our mindset of 2018 when we first started doing this stuff, writing mantras all over your house. Write them all over your house. I know we did it before. Do it again because it worked. I am beautiful. I am successful. There is nothing that's going to stop me. Break all fear. Break all static. Whatever those things, say them over and over. And every time you post them on Post-it notes all over your house, and every single time you see it, say it out loud. Put these colors up. Understand what the intentions are. If you want to balance it out, this is going to be your best bet. Pink and yellow right now. Because pink and yellow is Libra, Arcturus. This is also Ophiuchus too. Arcturus is, you're in this energy, you're looking for this. You're all around. This is what energy Arcturus is. You're yellow. You're yellow. I'm yellow. I see pink. Everything appears pink. This was the pink earth. I don't know if you saw the pink earth, the pink skies, all the pink skies that we have. So Sagittarius, Ophiuchus 2, which is the very beginning. This is the consciousness of Ma'at, the very beginning of Sagittarius, the most high descended elementals. You're pink. You're pink. You are. You're in pink. You are the pink sky. You're looking for yellow. Okay? So these energies, this is, and then turquoise, algarab is this, and turquoise. But this is more mustard yellow. It don't matter if you got yellow. This is algarab. The full moon that's coming up, the full moon that's going to be here in 8 days. You are this energy. You're yellow. See, yellow. When you're yellow, there's lots of shades of yellow, but it's still yellow. You might feel a little muddy yellow, but you're still yellow. But if you're yellow, then you're yellow in every ray that has yellow. You're getting it. You're getting some. If you're purple, if you have any purple, if you have any archangel points, that's why you have archangel points. You're not just one, you're all 4. And you have the base root of the lilac. There's only 2 who have light purple. There's only 2 that go lilac. And that's Spica and Regulus, the new Regulus in Virgo, which is opposite Fomalhaut, number 31. But I don't want to get off on that. This is the color. So yellow looking for what? Turquoise. A turquoise color. So what's turquoise? Your merging of your blues and your greens, right? It's also more of this, because turquoise is a shade and magenta is a shade that we didn't always have down here. This is pastels. If you go back and look at the oldest royal seals, the oldest ones, they're pastel. They're not primary color because only the highest consciousness can see that color and knows to look for it and knows to make it, mix it with white, mix it with eggshell. The pastel was the highest consciousness color. You know, there's like the Pleiade blue is this periwinkle, and it really is like this periwinkle blue. I haven't exactly found it yet. We altered it some on the new stuff that's coming out, just a little bit, I think. But this color blue, that's there. If you see it in your third, if you're in your third eye that's activated, because realize these layers in your etheric body. This is why it's so important to get queued up. Because I don't, whatever you go about on your journey, whatever spiritual information, whatever healers, whatever everything else you do after you leave here, your consciousness will show you. Because what we're doing is hewing you up, and what that means is when you consciously understand what rays you hold, then and as you don't have to know a whole lot about it either, because you just have to know and get it in you, and that's why doing the coloring book is inspired alignment, and it's connected with that because it is a mind mapping process, because you're doing it yourself, and it does mess with you to take that wheel, your Da Vinci Code, out of an astrology wheel and put it in a color ray. It does. It messes with your mind to do it. It's going to feel like it still does it because the mind wants to see it differently, and I'm making you pull it out and look at it differently. It doesn't take much to align those frequencies. When you do, what you do is break any of these cross sections that were holding your etheric body in the places that you were unconscious, basically, because then you have the furthest out connection here and a seal. And you've got the furthest out connection here and a seal. So basically what it does is connect you in and bring you up to a higher plateau instantly, to where you're not going to be Audrey Hale getting a bunch of mind control that you've geared into and your mind is obsessed with it. It won't happen to you. It can't. It can't, because you've connected far enough that it won't penetrate all the way through it. If you are unconscious to it, then it just rolls you around and maneuvers you around to the point where the energetic will take over your entire physical structure, or somebody around you with the ability to be able to channel that and conjure it will take over you in their scene, which is basically what happened to us for 4 years, as we were mirroring every move that they were making. That's why also when it was happening over the past 4 years in the journey, we never really understood what timeline we were in, because we weren't the ones messing with time. They were. So whenever they maneuvered, sent people to us, did their blood ritual, whatever, all that mess that we walked to rebirth, and realize too, just as a collective, just freaking realize that humans were created in some crazy ass ways down here, and it all had to be redone because this was the time to know how it was all done, so we wouldn't do it again, and it would be done right. So no matter in this timeline, we would have had robots, killer robots. We would have had clones. We would have had dissections. We would have had, I mean, all, and even the rebirth of having to rebirth mind control and what ended up being MK Ultra in our world. But that was just because on the hires realized that the consciousness strands that are hooked into an electric current, Wi-Fi, whatever, that run grids all over the world go all the way out to wherever that's harnessed. And if you don't attach it, and this is where so many didn't understand, and I didn't understand why I wasn't having the same experience that some of y'all were having, that were having more of an organic spiritual journey, because mine was not organic. And I was on a spiritual journey, all right. But and all the characters showed up, okay. But I was made to be able to pick up the white and make sense of the yellow. So I was more made in from a vector. I was birthed out of the matrix in a lot of ways. Christy birthed out of the matrix, came alive inside the matrix as I was and all of us as we were connecting out, because the matrix, you can basically, it's like, see a little 35 millimeter film strip, and then that acid come through and it just burned through it. That's what we've been doing on all these layers, and it's made a new core. And this is what's lining up with these full moons right now, balancing the rest of it out, okay, for the next week. And us remembering every tool that we've got. And I'm already over an hour, so I'm going to steam this up. But that also, you are so supported. Keep your mind clear. Don't let anything tell you something negative about yourself. Because see, that for us, that's last week. Is like, we even predicted it would all happen on a certain day, but we didn't know what, and that's what it was. It was a bunch of, not a bunch, it was two different people on the same day that had some discouraging words for some of the stuff we were doing. And it ain't even a big deal. It wasn't even that discouraging. Okay. But my point is, it happened all on the same day in an energetic. And I guarantee you, a lot of y'all had the same thing happen to you in your world in whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. I mean, if y'all can tell me, if last week, did you have somebody all of a sudden jump in and give you some maybe discouragement in a way? Could even been quite manipulative how it happened. I'm curious to know, because we're all having the same tests, because we're all working in the same opera, and we're all getting led to see who we print, because the projection is going to reprint and these new versions coming from way up here. And you're projecting the new version of you from everything merged as best as you've got it right now. Same as me. Okay? No matter what that is, it's going to be different than last time, just a little bit, because you've changed. You're not who you were, no matter, in 2018. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. Okay. So this is a bunch of twin stuff that's in here too. So cheers to you guys. I'm finishing, we're changing up. We're not changing. We're adding some stuff to the coloring book, just a couple of other things and we are working on it in an ebook. Y'all let me know if that's something you're interested in, because you could download it in the ebook and print it, or you could buy it from us. We could ship it to you, or we can do it for you. That's another option, because there's 3 of us now that can do them. But right now I'm changing up a couple of things on that, and it's not quite time to put it out yet. I was gonna go somewhere tonight and with associated to building the business. Now, following my intuition, I think I'm just a little too soon. Okay. And this is where we're at right now, because a lot of us that have been following this, that know that new stuff is coming, but why isn't it changing? We feel a little stagnant. Well, that's because Mars is reading the codes, reading the data. Your subconscious is reading a big, huge command center that your physical is not used to sitting still reading. Your physical is used to moving around and having to connect. We're so powerful now that you don't. This is OG shit. Because an OG don't make a move until it's time. OG don't reveal themselves unless they want to, and an OG don't have to reveal themselves at all. In fact, the best way is to do a bunch of OGs to not know exactly which OG it's coming for or from, right? Because that's how the system's made up. But no matter, with Mars coming into Cancer, what's happening is that your subliminal is picking up all these codes. You're either reading it from a flow language because you all saw the codes before, or now you were so in your flow that you were like, I don't understand what this synchronicity stuff is and these numbers and da 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 da. Now you can't stop thinking about it because you've been on the other side. Now you're writing yourself back into that 3D because you've already done the other side. Whichever one it is, that's why you might feel stagnant, because you're subliminally knowing when the go time is. Now, here's the one last thing I'll say on this. This is Mars. And trust that the move that you changed to make sure that you ended up catching the football, okay? And I mean, and you could be playing 9 football games at the same time. It's same game. Same game. It's going on 9 different dimensions. There's 9 different ways that game is won. One of them is basketball, one of them is football, one of them is hockey. It don't matter. You're playing every freaking game at the same time on 9 dimensions, but the only one that matters is the one up there. You're not going to exhaust yourself anymore and play 9 games. We've been through that. We had to do that. In fact, we had to lose every game a few times over da 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 da. We've already done that. So when you're sitting still, what you're doing is allowing those games to play out and knowing, okay, I'm stepping into game 3. I just got something's going on with da 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 da. You're doing something. You're like, oh, but I can't pull the trigger yet. Oh my gosh, but I need to. I want to. I want to. I want to. I want to get it done. I need it now. 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 I want you now. I don't want to wait. I want it now. I don't want to wait. See, we've learned our lesson. So what's happening is we're subliminally waiting for that last move, and then we make our move. We ain't used to doing that. We're used to being the ones that get sent the message to make the move and having to run the whole fucking game. That's the main thing that's different right now. So I hope that helps, guys. And just email me if there's anything else I can help y'all with. I will put it out here. It's not a big deal, but just in case, if anybody is wanting, I'm calling it an override session, and I'm going to put them up on the website as a service. But I'm calling it override, and or or I mean, you're in overdrive. Either you're in overdrive to where everything's spinning out and you need to make it stop and understand what's going on, or you could be overdriven, stuck. If you feel stuck and you feel like there's some type of connection, what I do is just I pull your chart, but I talk to you for 30 minutes or 60 minutes. And it's super cheap. $55 for 30 minutes to talk to me. If you want to talk to me for an hour, it'll be 99. Okay. But a lot of times just in that 30 minutes, and just me looking at your chart and talking to you and you telling me what the problem is, I can easily look at where your energy's at and what I need to pull up to understand, because I might need to pull up your draconic or your progress, I don't know, whatever I'm guided to do. And I can even help you just with color stuff and little things that'll hue you up energetically, that then will fuel you up, if you will, with the complete infrastructure. So then you can go fill in your pieces. Basically, you'll have the full infrastructure. So then going and finding the books, you've got a place to bring them and set them down and file them again, is the best way to put it. So, which also the coloring book will do. So coloring books they're $30. Shipping, though, is going to cost about $10 everywhere that I send. So pretty much it doesn't matter where I send it if I send it out. So I would say we're going to make them $40, and then I'll just whatever. So $40 to send a blank one out. And if y'all start ordering them and the first ones that do, then I've got to do some videos and walk through. We're going to do some Zoom meetings too. If you order it and you have a problem and you can't get through it, we're going to have some probably Saturday sessions that we're going to set up Zoom session, and just it'll be $10 to show up, and one of us will host it, and everybody who's got a problem, or we can walk you through it, because having all those energies on there and doing it as a group and then the questions is just a second part to that. We're getting it to y'all how we see it work in a system. That having it as a group and getting all your rays, getting them in a book, cues you up. Then you start understanding in socials and asking questions more about the energies, and we'll be forever talking about them, and it's going to change up, and people are going to have different perspectives on every single one of them. This menu that we have right now that we're editing a little bit, these questions came from all the readings of the most powerful ancient beings that I interacted with throughout my 5 years of activating this grid system. So this group of questions is spiritual in nature, deals a lot with dreams, deals a lot with DNA and things like that, because it's what knowledge I was gathering. We can have several different sets of questions because is what it is as far as what data we're gathering, and the more of us that start utilizing this information, then the more of us who are collecting the data get more information on how it impacts more collectives, and can keep writing the different versions of the energies to help explain how it all works and what different energetic and what each one feels like, because there's only 32, but there is 32. It's also 3264. So 32, this is also, again, 64 gene keys. This is the 32 root energies that make up the 64 gene keys, or the 32 root keys that make up the 46 reflection 264.